It's a new school year. And what does that mean? That means it's to start over fresh. This episode is all about personal development. This is all about how you can be more successful in school and in life. Hello, my name is Valerie, and this is Insight. First of all, I want to introduce everybody, the guests for today. We have students from 3 different schools. So how about we start off with you, Isaiah, and you introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, my name is Isaiah. I am 9 years old. My birthday is June 29th. My favorite color is blue, red, and green, and I go to Elliott Point Elementary School.
Great. I'm glad you stated your favorite colors. That was really interesting. Red is also love red as well. All right, what about you?
My name is Trinity Hickson Wells, and I go to STEM Academy.
Okay.
My name is Caitlin Bass, and I go to Eliza Jackson Preparatory School.
All right, so I'm so happy that you guys came on the show, and I know some of you may feel, I know this is your first time being on Insight, right? So you may feel a little bit nervous, but I think that's normal, right? And same thing with school. Does anybody sometimes feel nervous when it comes to going to maybe a new school or just starting school all over? You're raising your hand.
Yeah.
All right, so what kind of things that make you nervous about starting school? Because you're going to a brand new school now, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So what are some things that kind of make you a little nervous about it?
That I won't make no friends, or that I will probably fail 4th grade, and it will be a lot harder.
Oh my goodness, there's a lot of fears going on right there. That is kind of scary when you think about stuff like that. All right, well, the cool thing is today we're going to talk about goals and how to be successful and hopefully to help you so you don't feel so scared and nervous. I'm pretty sure if you ask some people at your school or even other schools, they may have the same kind of fears, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, do you guys have any fears, Trinity? No? Caitlin?
I'm scared about my lockers because sometimes, like, the 8th graders, they're, like, crowding over you and you're, like, trying to get to your locker and it's hard.
Oh, wait, what grade are you in?
6th.
Oh, you're in 6th grade? So the 8th graders intimidate you. So how do they know you're a 6th grader?
They don't.
Okay. So maybe that's one thing. You don't tell them unless you broadcast them. It's like, hey, you scare me because I am in the 6th grade. I just wanted to let you know when you're an 8th grader who happens to be 2 years older than me. How about let's not tell them? So you got that going for you, right? So they have no idea. So, and then also it kind of can get crowded in the hallway, right, and stuff. So that, yeah, I remember that. I didn't like it too much, being crowded. I know one time, I forgot what, we had to meet a teacher in one of the schools. It was at a high school. And I had to tell my mom, it was several years ago, and I had to tell my mom, it was before the bell rang. I said, if I were you, I would step to the side. She was like, why? When this bell rings, trust me, you need to step to the side. When that bell rang, it was like crazy. Like it went from nobody in the hall to about like 100 students, just like like this. She was just like looking at me like, how in the world? All right, so, well, I'm glad you guys shared your fears, but we're going to talk about, goals that you may have, and maybe those goals can help you with getting over your fears. So do you guys ever think about your goals for coming in the school year a little bit? Yeah, sort of. Yeah. All right, so how about I'm going to start with you, Isaiah. What kind of goal do you think, just to name one that you have for coming in the school for a year?
Making new friends. Again.
Oh, okay. So that's cool. So your goal right now is to make new friends. All right, we're going to talk about that one. All right, what about you, Trinity? What's a goal for you?
Well, my goal for this year so far is to try and focus on my studying and get straight A's.
Straight A's? Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
Mine is to try to get the lockers straightened up and to also make straight A's.
Also make straight A's. Cool. All right, so actually with these goals, I want to help you guys and as well as the people that's at home. So this is actually more interactive. So what we're going to do is your goal for the year is to try to develop more good habits. Okay, do you guys know what I mean by good habits?
Yes, ma'am.
You guys all understand by habits, right? Something that you do over and over again without thinking. So good habits could be brushing your teeth. You do that all the time, I hope. Do that all the time, and that's a good habit that you may have. So the first activity that we're going to have is I want you to think about something that limiting paradigm, basically a habit, a way of thinking that you may have that you really want to fix. So that can go along with your goals. So maybe maybe your shyness. So you want to try to find friends, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we have to think about, okay, what is your goal? So at home, I want you guys to think about a goal that you have, something that you want to develop. So I want you to do is to get a piece of paper and a pencil. That's right. Go ahead. Get a pencil and a paper. All right, you guys got something. All right, so the first thing I want you to do is write down your goal, just one goal that you have for this school year, okay? So it could be something that has to do with school. It could be an activity. Maybe you want to be more involved in the school. Or maybe you want, like Isaiah, you want to make friends. So just write that one thing down. I'll give you guys like a few seconds. All right, you guys got it down? All right, now let's think about how we can actually achieve that goal. Now, a lot of times people are like, okay, yeah, I got my goal. I hear about this all the time, but I'm not really thinking or planning on actually fixing it or actually achieving that goal. So let's talk about what you guys can do to achieve that. So you want to make friends, right?
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
do you know people who can make friends really easily, or you've seen that exhibited? Maybe you have a family member, or you know somebody who can be like, oh man, they can make friends so easily.
Yes,
Have
ma'am.
you seen that? Okay, now let's think about what they do. What kind of habits do they do that makes them attract people to them? What do you think?
They talk to people and they ask questions like what's your name, and they're always interactive to people.
Okay, that's really, really good. And I'm glad that you observed that. So what you can do, and this may be out of your comfort zone. Have y'all heard of a comfort zone? Something
Yes,
that you're just, that you like doing, but maybe we have to get a little bit outside of that. And that's how you can become more successful, is to go outside of our comfort zone. So maybe for you, you can actually think about, what if I approach just one new person at school tomorrow? Okay? And you can ask them a question. Now, if you approach someone new, what would you want to ask them?
What's your name?
Yeah, we'll start off with simple, like, who are you, okay? So just ask what your name is and then try to develop a conversation. So at home, if you have that, if you're a student, maybe you're at a new school, or maybe you're a kindergartner and this is literally brand new for you and you're like, I'm not going to have any friends, or I'm worried not to make any friends, how about, I'm sure there's other people who feel the same way, how about you approach somebody, means go to somebody that you haven't talked to and just say, what is your name? Just be that simple. And then think of something that's similar, okay? Earlier today, I said something similar I had with you. What is that? What do you remember I said? We had something similar. Do you remember?
No, ma'am.
No, you didn't. That's okay. I said that I also like the color red, right? We can have a conversation just that simple. Like, I wear a lot of red shirts, or I own a lot of red notebooks. And then it can lead on to, oh, what kind of notebook do you have? And then it leads on to a conversation. That makes sense?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So that's what I want you to do. That's your homework from me. Do you think you would have homework being on Insight? No.
No, ma'am.
All right, Trinity. So what about you? What was your goal that you wanted?
My goal was to focus and get all straight A's.
Okay. So what kind of thing do you think you need to do in order to achieve that goal?
Well, as I hear from a lot of my teachers, pay attention in class and not goof around. And as a lot of other adults tell me, to just study at home.
Okay. So they tell you strategies on how to do it, but instead of thinking about, okay, I have to do this for the rest of my life, I need to study, focus every minute, every second, think about just take every day at a time, right? Mm-hmm. So if you normally study for 30 minutes, then maybe just say, I'll just study 45 minutes. So that's the same goal for you guys at home. If your goal is to try to improve your grades, don't think about, oh man, I gotta improve and have straight A's, or I gotta do all this, in a whole year. Think about, okay, what's one little thing I can do to change it? So one little habit. So that's what you're going to make. So how about you just study a little bit longer, or just read something a little bit extra. Okay? All right, Caitlin, last but not least, what was your strategy you wanted to?
I wanted to learn how to work my lockers.
Okay, so you're worried about getting into your locker. All right, yours is probably the easiest one up here. What do you think you need to do?
I probably need to maybe already get my combination in mind and just try to hurry up and get my stuff out before the 8th graders come.
True, and believe it or not, because you're gonna be there the whole school year. How many times a day do you go to your locker?
Like maybe 3 or 4 times.
Okay. 3 times, multiply that by 5 days a week, and then you multiply that by 4. That's how many months. So that's going to be, a lot of times you're going to be visiting your locker. You're going to know your locker combination, trust me. Being in school, it's been a while, but you're going to do this with Ivan. You'll be like this, and you'll open it. So you'll get it, and you don't have to worry about it. And try, when you see the 8th graders, don't be like, they're 8th graders. Don't be like, don't be, just be like, hey, hey, what's your name? Maybe even friend them. They can help you out. They've been in the school a lot longer than you have. So maybe they'll help you out, right? All right, our last thing, probably our favorite topic, is the last thing I want to talk about before the break is chores. So I want to talk about this because, one, this is something you have to do. I mean, at home, and then also there's always something, even as an adult, you have to work on, some chores that you have to do. So it's pretty much the reason why chores is good is to help you develop good habits and effort. So think about a chore you do. What's the chore? Name one.
Clean my 2 hamsters cage.
We talked about those hamsters. There's the inside thing with that. Your little hamsters. Okay, so you have to take care of your pets. All right, what about you?
I have to take the trash out.
Take the trash out. And what about you, Caitlin?
I have to clean up my room every morning.
All right, so this is what I want you to do. You 3 think about it, and you guys at home to think about it. Think about that chore. One of the chores that I usually do to help out is washing dishes. I don't like washing dishes. But think about this, okay? We all have our chores. What if we did it the best we possibly could? I mean, think about what you normally, the way you do it. You probably just like, whatever, I'll kind of, sort of do it. But what if you do it so well that your parents are like, oh my gosh, that was brilliant? You guys think you can do that?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you can. You know how to make your room so perfect and brilliant. Maybe take out that trash in 2 seconds, okay, and do it brilliantly. And make your hamsters so happy you live in the little cage, right? Maybe do it more often too. So I want you to do that. The reason why I'm asking you to do this is so you can develop good habits and get in the habit of working at 100%, okay? Working full effort and making good habits. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to talk a little bit more about school when we come back on our break, okay? And then just talk about just general in school and maybe some things you want to do in school. Maybe you have questions for me, okay? So don't go away. We have more right here on Insight.
In only 30 minutes a week, you can make a big impact on a child in Okaloosa County. The Okaloosa School District is recruiting mentors at all academic levels throughout the county. Studies show that students who are mentored develop self-confidence, make better grades, and improve their relationships with adults and peers. To learn more about the mentoring program or to sign up, visit okaloosaschools.com and click on the Become a Mentor link. You can make an immediate impact on a child and the community by becoming a mentor today.
On our show, Level Up, we track down all kinds of monsters that escape our favorite video game and bully their way into the real world.
Real life bullying? That's an entirely different problem.
He'll do his best to get on your nerves, but the smartest thing you can do is try and stay calm, walk away, and find a teacher or other adult. Together we can all stop bullying by speaking up.
Go to stopbullying.speakup.com to find out more.
This PSA brought to you in part by the Cox Southeast Region Diversity Council and Cox Communications.
And we're back here on Insight. We were talking about strategies, how to be more successful in schools and how to develop healthier habits. Because I know a lot of times we have habits that we need to work on. But we talked about some good habits that we can have that hopefully you can be more better in school and maybe have better study habits and everything like that. So now we're going to talk a little bit more about strategies in schools and some tips. And I'm pretty sure that you all had tips, or your parents have been talking to you about tips and strategies and how to be successful in school, right? And your teachers have probably talked to you guys a lot, right? Yes. So I'm going to ask you this question. What is the most exciting thing about school to you?
Well, at our new school, We don't have to wear uniforms, and we get early release like on the first Thursdays of each month.
So you're so excited just leaving.
Yes.
Just be like, I can get out of here. That is exciting about school, to leave school. Amazing. And then you also get to wear what you like. Yeah, I see there you have your Batman Lego shirt. So I'm guessing you like Legos. Oh, okay.
I do like it. I do play with it, but my mom gets upset when I try to look for something. Then I have to pour out the whole box of Legos.
Okay.
Then I don't clean up my room. I just leave it because I have to go somewhere. Then she takes a picture of it and then sends it. Then shows my grandma.
Really? Oh, wow. Okay. That's really interesting. All right, what do you find exciting about school?
Well, probably the most exciting thing so far this school year is meeting all the new teachers and hearing if the rumors about how mean they were true and all that stuff.
Sounded like you like old drama was going on. Ooh, what's some juicy gossip? All right, that could be exciting, I guess. All right, what about you, Caitlin?
Lockers.
You and the locker conversation, seriously, like that is your thing. So you're nervous about the lockers, but yet it excites you.
I love lockers. It's my first year ever having a locker. Well, except for second grade.
Oh, in second grade you had lockers?
I had cubbies.
What school did you go to?
I went to Rehoboth in Alabama.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. What did you have in there? Crayons?
Backpack.
Oh, okay.
Backpack.
So you did have at least something. All right, so I'm going to go over 5 things, just 5 things to help you guys in school and maybe make it a little bit more exciting, more than just a locker, I hope. All right, the first thing that I want to talk about is learn how to study. I'm sure you hear about this all the time. But what, I hear you grumbling over here. All right, but it's very important to know how to study. Y'all want to go to college, right?
Yes.
All right, that's very important to know how to study properly. If you know how to do it this early, you'll be perfect at it by the time you get to college. So, Caitlin, what is a way that you know how to study properly?
Well, like if you don't have any distractions around you where you sit or do your homework, wherever you do your homework, don't have any distractions around you, like such as like a TV or something.
That is a really good point. I think in this day and age, which is different from back in the day, in the Stone Age when I went to school, which would be cell phones. I think that is the major. I know for me that's a distraction. That's even a distraction for sleep. Like you get off the computer finally after like 5 hours, and then when you get in the bed, then you grab your cell phone and you're like, well, let me just look at my cell phone for 2 seconds and go on the internet. But that's a good point. Maybe electronics is a distraction. So maybe kind of put that away or hide it from yourself. Don't even use it for a calculator for school because you won't use it as a calculator. You use it to text somebody, right?
We're not supposed to use calculators anyways. So.
Oh, well, some of you do or some of you don't. I think you're using calculators, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so another one, this is very, very important, not just for school, for life in general. Have the right attitude. What does that mean? Let me hear that. What does that mean to you? I'm going to ask you, Isaiah, what does that mean to you?
Don't talk back. Be nice, even like if your mother asks you to do a chore, do it with the correct attitude. Don't just say, yes, ma'am. Don't huff or puff. Don't poke out your lip or smack your teeth. That's what my mom gets on to me about.
I was going to say, like, did you do this? You're very descriptive on what it is. So, like, yeah, let's try that. That's having a bad attitude, right? So,
Yes, ma'am.
even though you may not feel like doing it, you gotta be pretty much joyful about it. And actually, if you make a habit of being happy, then you become that, right? Maybe you will be like, you know what? I actually love taking out the trash. This is the highlight of my day. I'm just joking, but but I mean, make a habit of being like, you know what? I love doing this. Just love doing everything. Well, wouldn't that be an interesting life if we just be happy about everything? I am opening my car door. I am sitting in my yes. This is exciting. I think it'd be a lot better place. So have a good attitude. This is a really good one. We talked about this during the break. Communicate with your teachers and parents. What do you think I mean by that, Trinity?
I think it means if you have like a question or a problem, then you can go with them. Or even if they just ask you a simple question like, how was your school today? Just answer them with not like, fine or okay or can we talk about something else? Just answer them.
Love that. And believe it or not, children, your teachers and your parents are not the enemy. Okay? They are not. Okay? So don't think of it like, oh, what do they want? They're there to help you as much as you may not like it, but they're actually there to help you. And if you need help, don't be afraid to. That's what they're there for. If you're like, man, I really don't understand this chemistry question or this I don't remember all these dates that I have to do for social studies. I really don't get it. Ask your teachers. I mean, I'm pretty sure your teachers have said numerous times throughout the school year, last year or whatever, like, if you need help, I'm available after school. Who's heard a teacher say that?
My world history teacher actually said that like as soon as we got out of school.
As soon as you got out of school, yeah, they are available. They're there. They stay at. I mean, they get there 4 days in the morning, and then a lot of them stay there for a long time. They're there to help you. Okay, so again, they are not the enemy. And then again, with the parents, the whole saying, like we talked about this in the break. I used to have the habit of saying fine. Okay, like how was your day? Fine. Basically, it wasn't fine. It was just go away. Okay, but here's a strategy I would ask the parents. Try to ask a question that's not just that requires a yes or no answer. Okay, so try to ask something that will get your child to engage more. Like, what was something that you struggled with today in school? Or did you meet anyone new today in school, and who were they, and what did you like about them? This way it caused you guys to give more than a fine answer or I don't know, whatever kind of response, right? So you have more of a choice to answer. And it's not hard to answer. What if you had to talk to them just 5 minutes? Would that be so bad?
No.
No, it wouldn't be too bad. I mean, it just takes 5 minutes away from your cell phone usage. That's all. All right, the fourth one. This is really easy. I said this 3 times. I wrote this on my notes. Read, read, and read. Why do you think I have to state that like 3 times? Why do you think that's so important for school, Caitlin?
Well, for one, I don't like reading at all, and I know some kids don't like it either. So, and for in life, you're gonna have to read a bunch of things. In math, you're gonna have to read. In world history, you're gonna have to read. So.
Yeah, I can see that. Have to read. But I mean, where do you get your information from if someone doesn't tell you?
Like if someone doesn't tell me what?
If someone doesn't give you the answer, where would you find your answer? You have to do what?
I have to either go on the internet or something.
Internet, which makes you have to
read.
Yes, read. I know you're trying to avoid that R word. I know it's a curse word to some students and kids, but believe it or not, reading is really, really important. And the first thing is maybe try reading something that you love. Okay, that's the first thing. I was a fan and still am a fan of Goosebump books. Because at the beginning, I kind of read, I was like, but my mom noticed I love horror books and horror movies. Like, I still do. I am obsessed with anything that has to do with scary stuff and thriller stuff. So she got me insane amount of Goosebump books, and they used to scare me. I used to remember sitting there reading, and especially Night of the Living Dummy. Who's ever read that book? Has anybody? Nobody? Ever? It's a ventriloquist dummy that came alive. I'll never forget this. Do you remember that?
No, we have Netflix, and we watch Goosebumps, and I've seen that one.
Oh, you've seen it? Well, I read
because
the
of
book.
Tyler.
Okay, your brother.
Yeah.
So, well, I read it, and it's a little scary sometimes when you read it because you use your imagination and you just envision however you think the dummy looks. So I remember sitting there, and I would look over my shoulders while I was reading the book. I would be like this, it was like I had some sort of issue, but but it kept me interested. And then I went to reading other things. And now I research insane amount of stuff, like on the computer. And that's reading, right? It's even though it's digital, but reading on the book. Who has a Nook or a Kindle?
I have a Kindle.
You do? Do you, okay, Trinity, do you read more using that than a regular paper? Or about the same?
About the same, because I really like, this is going to be weird, but I like how old books smell. Yeah. Because I feel like it's a comfy smell. Like people like small spaces because it's comfy.
Yeah.
So old books smell comfy to me.
Well, that's interesting. That's pretty cool. I like that. Never heard that, but that's pretty cool. All right, what about you, Caitlin? Do you read more using a gadget than versus the old school paper?
I usually do paper because I either have to buy books or on my Kindle, or I just get them for free, but I usually just read them with the paper books.
So you prefer that over reading it over a Kindle? So why do you prefer that? I'm just curious.
Because on my Kindle, like, you can accidentally tap something and it'll change to the next page and start reading, or you start reading and you're like, oh wait, this is the wrong page, and you're like, but I forgot the next page.
All right, parents, take note. Save your money. Do not buy a Nook. I'm just kidding. Well, I'm actually really surprised that you guys are actually saying that. Most people will just assume, I guess, with this day and age, that kids are like, oh, kids prefer gadgets. But it's interesting. What about you?
I don't have nothing that has reading in it. All I have is like a Nintendo, but I do like to read this series of books called Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I seen every single movie that they made of the 3 books, but they have more books, and I read every single one.
Oh, wow. So, wow, it really sounds like you really love it.
Only need one more book, except I lost the first book, so I need 2 more. But so far, I have all the other books.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm really happy to hear that you are really into reading, and you're getting there, which is good. And my last point before we go is try to figure out tough problems without always asking someone for help. So basically, if there's something that you're faced with, before your first response is, oh, how do I do this? I don't get it. Try to figure it out. Have you ever done that? Like, for instance, something broke, or maybe even a gadget needs set up. Are you the type of person that first asks for help or first figure it out? I'll ask you first. Which one?
Well, sometimes I will ask for help, but when I first got my Nintendo from my dad, cause one of my cousins, he had a Nintendo, and so I just skipped everything.
You skipped everything?
Yes, ma'am, I didn't ask. My papa told me.
That's good. So you didn't try to ask for help. What about you? Do you ask for help sometimes, or figure it out?
Well, if I break something, I check to see how bad the damage is, and if it's something I don't know exactly how to do, then I'll ask for help, or I'll poke my nose around some more and see if I can figure it out.
Well, it's been great talking to you guys, and believe it or not, time is up. Can you believe it? And I thank you guys so much for listening to us in strategies on how to be more successful in school and in life in general. Thank you for watching us here on Insight.